Hello everyone, welcome to another coronavirus update from me, the expert of coronavirus here in China. As an expat living in China, I should know all about what it's like to deal with isolation, self-isolation, and not just self-isolation but social distancing too. Alright, so in this video I really want to give some advice about how you, the good people of the Western world, or, well, the entire world, because it is now in fact a pandemic, a global pandemic. It's not just a local problem or a regional problem, it is now in fact a global problem. It's a problem that everybody has to deal with. So I want to give some advice to you, the good people out there, about what you can do to stay sane during this global pandemic, this problem that has become that is blown out of all proportion, really, by the media and by the government, but for good measure, because of course it's highly contagious and it could become a lot worse than it is now. So I'll give some advice to you from somebody who has in fact lived like this for about a month and a half. And I also just want to give an update as to what life is like here in China now. While the coronavirus problem has, for the time being, actually been swept aside. Okay, so in terms of advice that I'd give you people, I'd just say kind of, well, you have to try and get outside as much as possible. You really do, because this could last for a long time. We don't know how long. In fact, it's all depending on whether the governments of the world can actually contain it in its early phase. And I think that now it's not exactly an early phase problem anymore. It's an advanced phase, definitely. But you have to go for a walk as much as possible. Just go outside. You know, where I live, there is a river just nearby, so you can go for a river. You can go for a river walk. I try to get in about 10,000 steps a day, if not daily, then as many times a week as possible. And also going to the supermarket helps a great deal as well. I think you can travel to the supermarket by foot. If you live near to a supermarket, if there's a reasonable distance, a walking distance, then certainly take full advantage of that, because that's going to help you get your daily steps in. It's going to get you outside, it's going to get you active. The other thing I would suggest is, of course, doing what you like to do inside the house. I know that many people have different interests, passions, hobbies, so I can't really state one single thing. A universal thing would be something like an indoor workout, I suppose. Trying to build some muscle, just trying to get the heart rate up, just skipping rope, that can do the trick. But the thing that I would suggest is, watching television, which isn't really a good constructive thing. It's not really productive. It's not really going to get you active in any way. But reading books certainly is a good substitute for that. So I would suggest to anyone out there, dealing with this problem of social distancing and self-isolation, just be content being alone. It's definitely a good time to reflect on yourself and to really just think about where you want to go in the upcoming months. Where you have been, and just try to reflect. Try to get some self-reflection in there. This is ample opportunity, ample time to do all that. Okay, so that's some advice I would give you from somebody who has actually been through it. Now, for me personally, my experiences, I did all that. I walked as often as possible, went to the supermarket. I'm still doing that now because work for me hasn't resumed yet. I teach in an English language centre, and I'm taking unpaid leave at the moment, while some teachers are working in the centre or from the centre, but it's online teaching. So the students don't actually come into the school, they are taught via online teaching, online sessions. So for me, it's difficult. It's very difficult indeed. On getting by on a day-to-day basis, but you have to try and keep yourself busy. Now, the thing that I would say is that well, let's put it this way: things are improving over here. All right, that's certain. That's definite. Things are improving over here. There's plenty of traffic on the highways, on the roads, and restaurants, all kinds of shops, electronic stores, jewelry stores, clothing stores, all of these things have reopened over here. You can really go about your life as usual. Daily life has resumed, essentially. There are crowds on the streets, plenty of people to interact with. There are tourist hotspots out there that are packed full with people, and everybody is still wearing a face mask. Every person still wears a face mask. You walk past someone in the street, and 99.9% of the time they will be wearing a face mask, and you do the same. And you obviously, it's a reciprocal thing. It's mutual interest that you both wear a face mask. So it's very positive news, very positive developments are occurring here. So there is a bit of optimism there for you, all of you in the Western world, or globally, who are currently going through this crisis. That there is light at the end of the tunnel. Things will improve, but you have to persevere. So for me personally, this is a good time to go to the gym and to work out, to read, to focus my mind on the things that are really deep-seated and important to every human being, which is self-enlightenment, self-development, and exercise. The mental health is the number one priority for every single person, I think. But going to the gym and exercising, I've been fortunate enough to be able to do that because the gyms have reopened. But you still have to wear a face mask, and you also have to go at a designated time as well. It's almost like an appointment system that they're using. And going for walks, of course, as well. Nothing can beat a good old walk in the countryside, by the river, along the coast. I've been using the metro over here. The metro system is fine. It's very cheap to get around. The metro is perhaps not as safe as say, the Didi at this time. Didi being the Chinese version of Uber. But it's certainly cheaper, and you can get to many parts of the city in little under an hour. It takes as little as an hour really to get anywhere, and so that's probably the best thing to do at the moment, is to just get out there and not focus too much on the negatives. All right, that's it from me. That's a quick update about the coronavirus situation here in China.